Okay. So um, uh, yesterday we just started with the base. I mean, today for you, Nimish.
Yeah.
No, not Nimish, like for ma'am. uh, so we did like basic programming. So if you look at let's say different operators that we have. Okay. So let's say I have variable one called as 50, and I have variable 2 which is 60. Now I can, of course, things that you already know would be the plus, right? So when we do plus, it is adding two numbers, right? When you do minus, it is like subtracting two numbers. When you do multiplication, it is, star, it is like multiplying, right? Similarly, you have division here. Okay. So now if I run it, you get 50 plus 60, 50 minus 60, 50 into 60, and 50 by 60, which is 0.833. Now, there are few more operators, okay, and we call these as
So,
arithmetic. Yeah.
so here you don't have to use like
No,
system.out.println
no,
and
no,
kind
no,
of.
no. That's
Okay,
the
okay.
beauty, okay? And that's
All
why,
right.
people who doesn't know programming, okay, at all, they find Python much easier, okay? Because I don't have to explain why to use system.out, why to use main, you just start, okay? And that's how Python is much easier. And the way it became popular was, see, earlier Java was very, I mean, still Java is very popular, but these non CS people who came from non-programming background, they had to do a lot of the work in their data analytics, right? Doing their MS thesis or PhD thesis, things like that. So of course, data analytics. So people from data analytics are mostly scientists who have done mathematics and statistics kind of thing, right? They may not have programming background. So they were finding it difficult to work with Java or SPSS, as those are expensive tools. That actually popularized Python. Okay, in Python you just start coding from line number one. Okay, there is no bracket, there is no anything like that. Okay, so yes, so now you have slash for division. Okay, now we have double slash here, which is for, we call it as integer division. Okay, that means, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All good.
Okay. Okay. So double slash will only give you the integer part. It will not give you the decimal part. Okay. Now again, what I had asked to revise was the data types. Now, if you look at the data types are the the nature of data that we can work with. Okay. So you have integer. Integer data types are numbers. I mean, minus infinity to plus infinity, you can say. Okay, without decimal part. So minus 100, minus 99, 0, 5, 10, without decimal part, any number is integer. Okay, we need to know data type because the operations that we can perform is depending on the data type. Now I'm able to perform arithmetic operations because all these are either integer or float. We call them as numeric. Together, integer and float, we call it as numeric, but we don't have any separate data type called numeric. Okay, it's just a term that we use to include both integer and float. So of course, you can't add to string to text data, isn't it? So that's why computer need to know what type of data it is. Okay. The moment I say var1 equal to 50, in other languages, Nimish, we have to first
Yeah.
say that the integer var1. Okay, we have to say, we have to tell that this is a variable in which I want to store integer value. And later, if I store something else, it will give error. But in Python says, I don't want to have this extra step. If I
Okay.
say var1 equal to 50, it means it is integer.
Okay.
Okay, if I say var1 equal to 50, it doesn't mean that I'm going to store text data, right? It's logical to understand that you can, or you want to save 50. So here you don't have that extra steps, okay? And that's why Python has become much easier, much smaller program compared to other languages. So when I say var1 equal to 50, it becomes integer. When I say var1 equal to hello, it becomes text, or we call it a string here. So then second data type, we have float. Float is your decimal part. Again, plus infinity to minus infinity with decimal. Like, minus 5.0. Point, the moment you put point, it becomes float. So 0.0 is also float. So it can be written as integer number, but since it has a decimal, it becomes float.
Okay.
Third type is string. String
Yes.
is all your text. Okay. So string is, hi Yuvraj.
Hey,
So
sorry.
no problem. So string is your text, right? So for example, hello. Okay. Now, again, we'll have a separate discussion on string. We represent or we put string in quotation. You can have single quote or double or even triple is allowed in Python. Okay. Again, we'll have a separate discussion on string, maybe after a couple of classes, then we can get into detail. But just to know that, okay, we have integer, float, string, and then you have bool, or we call it as boolean. Okay. Now, boolean is your true false. Okay, it has just two values, true and false. Okay, and look at the spelling. T capital, rest small. For false, F capital and rest small. Okay.
Okay.
This. So if I don't put the exact same format, then it will not understand. It will probably think it's a string. So though it is text, but if you write TRUE, okay, for example, if I say value 1 equal to true, okay, see the color, okay, and if I put something like this, it is giving, you have error, okay. TRUE is not your boolean, so it is expecting us to put it as a string. But if you put T capital, RUE is small, or F capital, ALS is small, it becomes boolean type. So how do you know the type of a data? Okay, you can print the data type by using input. So yesterday we spoke about print. Print is a function which will display the content onto the screen. Whatever content you put, that content is displayed on the screen.
Yeah.
That's the role of print, whatever you put. Okay, and we saw that we can have multiple values. I can say var1 plus var2, comma, var1 minus var2. Now, moment I say comma, it becomes one separate set of variable, or we call it as arguments or parameter, one parameter, and this is another parameter.
Okay.
So when you run it, you get first value, and then you get second value. So print can take any number of arguments, okay, and each arguments are defined, or separated by comma. So when you see comma here in print, okay, you know that, okay, this is one set of argument and this is another set of argument. So this will be evaluated, and then comma actually will give a space, okay, though we have not given a space, because we have used comma, one single space will be added and the next evaluation will happen.
Okay.
Okay, I can say something like this. Now minus, right? So this is what we discussed, earlier, that now minus, since it's a text, it will print as it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to print as it is. Now minus, right? So this is one set of one set of arguments. So you get 110, then another set of argument, which is text. So it is printed as it is. And then another set, which is again evaluated. So if you don't put in quotation, it will evaluate. If you put in quotation, it will print as it is. Okay, so this was the first function, or we call it inbuilt function. Inbuilt function means we don't have to work. Okay, the meaning is defined internally by Python. Then second type is called input. Sorry, not second type, second inbuilt function. Okay, input is again inbuilt function that gives the data type of the variable. Okay. Now, in fact, okay, let me not do it this way. Okay. Okay. Now, see, um, I was trying to do the data type. Okay. Here, okay, I made a mistake here. So you have type here actually. Okay. This will give you the data type, okay, of the given variable. Okay. Now, input is used to input or take input from the user. Okay. So we have, this is the first inbuilt function that we're talking about. This is second inbuilt function, and this is third inbuilt function that we're talking about. Okay. So it has predefined meaning. Okay. We cannot change the spelling. We can't change the case. It has to be all lowercase, because it has a predefined meaning, right? So input is used to take input from the user, and type is used to give the data type of the variable. So for second, I'll comment input. Okay. It will not work. Maybe towards the end of the session, we'll talk about input. Now type, okay, takes one argument. So which variable that you want to look at? Okay, I want to look at value 1. So when I say type of value 1, okay, it means I want to find the data type of value 1.
Mhm.
Okay. Now to to find the data type, so this will give me the data type. Fine. But what should I do now? I need to print it on the screen, right?
Sir, one second, sir.
Yes. Yes.
In line number 15, why do you put a variable? I know that string, but why do you say VALL? It should be VLU, right?
You can give whatever, right? Now name, okay.
Oh, name. That's just name.
It's a
You don't
yeah.
have to put in the string here.
No, that's a variable name.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a boolean. Right, correct, sir.
Correct. So it's on the left hand side, correct?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when
Oh,
you on the left hand side, you have what we call as variable name, right?
so do I have to, before that, I have to mention that you, like in line number 14, you have mentioned that boolean equal to, or you were just
That's a
explaining
comment.
that.
That's a comment. Hash is used as a comment in Python.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So when you
Got
put so the Python will not read it. It will not even read whatever you're writing. So line number 10 to 14 is not even executed by Python. Python will not even look at it. This is only for
Okay.
us. This is only for us to read. Okay. This is a comment.
Acha,
I mean,
okay.
so
Okay, you
yeah,
put that comment. Okay,
correct.
okay.
So
So
in
for
Python,
that,
comment starts with hash. Yeah.
okay, got you.
Yeah. And this
Okay.
is our variable name. So I'm saying variable name equals
Variable
to
name. Yeah.
correct. The type of val1, okay, val1 is variable name, so it will give the data type that val1 has. But I need to
Got
see it, right? I need to see what value is, what type is doing. So I'll have to say print. Now you can
Okay.
have multiple functions in the same line of code, okay? And like in this case, see, I have print also, I have type also. So in such cases, Python will first evaluate the innermost.
Okay.
You can have 3. Later we'll see, we sometimes will have to do 3 also.
Mhm.
So whatever you have innermost, that is evaluated first. So innermost function is type. So type will first evaluate this.
Okay.
Type will say value 1 is boolean. So it'll say type 1 bool. Now I need to see it on the screen. So the output will be printed on the screen for us.
Okay.
So when I run it, you see it says class bool. Everything is treated as class and object in Python. What does that mean? Okay, we'll discuss, when we get to class. So for now, just, forget about the word class, but this is one of the strength of Python. Okay, even if you look at Java, the basic data type like integer, float, they're not considered as class. But Python considers even the basic primitive data type that we discussed yesterday, the integer, float, string, Boolean also as class. So everything is class here in this case. Okay.
Got it, sir.
So
Sir,
okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In Boolean, as you said, we have to write the first letter as capital and other as small letter. But what if
No. Not have to. You can.
okay, you can.
Yes.
So if we write capital here So val1 will also be capital.
Yes. So whatever you declare right now here, I'm saying Sachin and I'm trying to print Kapil here, right? So it
Mhm.
says, sorry, Kapil not found, right?
Yeah,
So,
right.
right. So you have to use same variable name. Okay. This
Okay.
is first time you are doing. So you
Mhm.
have a choice. Okay. You can do capital or small. You
Okay,
can
okay.
add like, I have added number. But once you have declared it, then you don't have a choice.
Yeah, got it,
Okay.
sir.
So you have to use same, right? Like the time when you were born, your parents has a choice to give you a name. But
Yeah,
once you got a name, now you have no choice, right?
yeah, right, sir.
Right. So, okay. So, so print will print the value of type. So type is saying bool and print is typing the value here bool, right? Similarly, you can try val1 equal to 50 and see the type will be integer. Val1 equal to 50.0, type will be float.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it, sir.
Yes. So coming back to our discussion here, double slash will give us integer division. That means it's it will not give the exact, it will give you the decimal part only. Okay, it'll give you integer value basically. Okay, not decimal part, the non-decimal part. So the output was 0.8333, right? So what
Mhm.
is the integer part? 0. So you get
0.
0 here.
Okay.
If I make this as 80, okay, and if I run it again, you get 1.333, right? It gave us only 1,
Yeah, got it.
right? Okay, so if you want to know how many times it is divisible, how many times, right?
Mhm.
So in that case, you will prefer this value, isn't it? Because 80 is divisible by 60 only one time, right?
Okay.
Until 129, it is divisible one time only. When it becomes 120, then you say it is two times, right? Twice of 60. You know?
In Python, don't you also use print? So if you're using print,
Yes,
val1 minus val2, then you're solving the equation, right? Because you're telling Python to do the whole equation. But
correct.
wouldn't you write equal apostrophe comma space
No,
val?
no, 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 no. Okay. So, okay. Um, so Python has its own syntax, right? Now, let's see. When you look at languages, right? Whether you talk about English, Hindi, Marathi, I don't know, Spanish, each of these languages have their own syntax, correct?
Yeah.
So this is how Python is written. Okay. You okay. So the moment you say here, this one, for example, this is the syntax for text. Okay, and this is
Yeah.
the syntax for your evaluation, right? You're evaluating a expression or equation, whatever. Now,
So what you have to put apostrophes
When he's saying you have to wait.
before var1 and after var2 in the parentheses, so then it solves the equation.
No, so what Python, what it's printed, whatever you said, variable 1 plus variable 2, variable 1 has 80, variable 2 has a 60, so he's adding. Whatever you put in this, no, it will be, you'll get the result same.
Oh, so you're doing 140.
right, which is your var1 plus var2. So see, look at this comma. Okay, comma is separating the stuff. Okay, so when you
Yeah.
see a comma, that means there are two different things. So when you see comma here, that means this is different and this is different. Okay, this is separate and this is separate. Okay,
Yeah.
so it says, okay, let me first evaluate this. Let me first calculate this, then I will calculate this. Okay, so every comma is like I told you different arguments. Okay, so this is like three different stuff. Let's say there are two commas, means there are three subjects here, three topics here. Like you have got three homework, for example, right? So you can't do all the three at the same time, right? Maybe all three are due tomorrow. So you will first, solve you'll do your first homework, right? Once you are done, then you will do your second homework. Then you will do your third homework. But submission is at the same time tomorrow, right? So now you are ready because you have done all the three. So you can submit it and you get one final submission, right? But comma is separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I could have said var1 plus var2 into var1, okay, divided by var2. Now all these is 1. All
Yeah.
these
See,
is
adding,
1.
multiplication, and division.
So then that means you can either do 140
Multiply by.
times a var1, or you can do 140 multiplied by var2.
No, it's not either or, okay? It is one single thing, correct? So now again, you have to use BODMAS rule. If you have all thing, which one takes precedence? Which one should we do first?
You should do multiplication.
Multiplication or division, right? So
Mhm.
the first thing is you have to evaluate this, correct? Then you multiply with this. Finally, you add. So it is like our mathematics only, okay? Just that
Yeah.
it becomes one single equation, okay? It doesn't matter what you have here or here, okay? When you are doing your maths homework, you forget about your science homework for a minute, right? You say, let me focus here, let me finish what it is. Once I'm done, then look at English homework. Then probably look at the science homework, right? But as I said, you print together. So, this is one single work for Python. Mom, if I don't put multiplication, I put comma here. Then that means this is 1 and this is second, right? So first this will be evaluated. It'll forget for a second what are all after comma. Of course, final print, you have to look at everything. But when you're evaluating one, you'll forget what you have afterwards, right?
Yeah.
It's all,
Sir,
yeah. Go
on
ahead.
your website,
Not now, sir. Later. Otherwise, he will.
No,
Sir,
no,
you have
no.
to stop him.
Let's see his out, okay? Maybe
No,
first.
he's talking about your website, sir. So let's.
no, I finished the practice.
Okay, he finished practice. All of them.
I found the output of what it was
Okay,
there. I
so
did
one thing I want to say is when I'm in the class, right? Don't practice. Okay, you look at what I'm
I'm not
saying.
practicing
No,
right
no,
now.
yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, because you might miss something. So when I'm talking, just focus. Okay, and session, we'll end it in 5-7 minutes because I need to go and drop my wife. So so session will not be longer than 1.5 hours or so. Okay, so for that 1.5 hours or 1 hour, just focus on my screen, see what I'm saying, ask me questions, okay, on what I'm saying, and you see the output. And then immediately when session ends, video probably I'll give the video in maybe 15-20 minutes. Then you go and you watch, you practice. I'll give you the code also. So on the website, I'll put this code as well. Okay. So you can start practicing immediately. And if you have questions, you can watch video. Otherwise, you can ask me in the next session. Okay. Because what happens now, if I am typing, right, your focus will be on typing and listening. So of course, you will miss the point when you are typing, right? So that's why when I'm talking, just watch on the screen, don't practice. And you don't even have to make notes, okay? Don't make notes also. Everything, whatever I'm saying, will be shared in some form, okay? So don't even make notes. Okay, because I'll add the comment here, okay? So comment will also be there. So notes, I'll add it here. So this you'll get this note also, right? So you don't even have to sit with pen and paper, okay? Just focus on the screen for the time I'm doing the session. Fine?
Got it, sir.
Yes. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, Yuvraj, you had something?
Yeah, can you go up?
This is the first line.
Oh no, sorry, down.
Okay.
Down I saw something. Where did it go? You had wrote something. Yeah, when you put string, but I thought print was used to write stuff, not string.
No, so this is the other variable. String is a variable. So whatever text you have to send any message to anyone, right? And if you see, if I write that variable plus variable 2, and if I have to say something, so if I have to say any text message, then I have to use string. So string only allowed to pass any kind of text message.
Yes. Okay. Text
The
message.
variable, this is integer means numbers, float means decimal
So then
numbers.
print is only used for numbers, but I saw on your website that it said that you can use print to
Yeah.
write
So this
So
this is
print
a string
will,
only, right? This is a string, isn't it?
no,
This
sir,
is
he means print. Print means it will print here. Once you write down, then it will come, it will
see,
deliver here.
text will always be in quotation. Single, double, triple, okay, all three allowed. So I told you that string will do it later, okay? String is more complex, we'll do later. We are going first with number and then we'll go to Boolean and then we'll go to string, okay? So we'll talk about it. But if you see here, print is a function. It is like your, like your name is Yuvraj, right? So
Yeah.
Yuvraj also has a meaning, in Hindi. But when you say name, it doesn't matter. Now, see, if for example, the way you write your name, I cannot question, right? So there are various ways of writing Yuvraj. So I cannot, because that's a predefined stuff, right? That is as per your certificate. Okay. Now, if I'm talking about the word or talking about, grammar, there I can question you. I can say that's not how it is written, right? But if you're, if so print in this case, or type, okay, or true, these are predefined stuff. So when it is predefined, this is how we are supposed to write. Okay, I cannot say why t is not small. No. Okay. Okay. So these things. Okay. So I was telling Nimish earlier that see what three things you need to do programming. Okay. One is logic. Second thing is the grammar, the rules. We call it a syntax. Okay, syntax. And third thing is putting this logic and syntax together. Okay, so logic is what you have. Okay, maybe we can fine tune a little bit. Okay, but that is what you bring in. Syntax is what is job of a trainer. Okay, when in part of this course, or when you watch any videos or read any book, you are learning. They're going to tell you this syntax, right? When you go to an English class, the ma'am or sir will tell you about the grammar, right? About the vocabulary, right? Now you have to form the sentences, isn't it? Okay. Now, if you have to write an essay needs your thinking capability and the grammar that you have learned, correct? So writing a program is like writing an essay where I will teach you